Let me show you something. What is this? Come on. If you're with somebody, tell them what you think that is. No, it's not a line. Come on. This is obviously the horizon of an Arizona desert. Now I teach you to visualize. Do you see it now? Okay, here we go. Now, how many of you know what a sand wasp pole is? I'll slow it down. A sand wasp pole. A sand wasp hole. A sand wasp hole is a hole in the sand where a sand wasp lives. Several years ago, the United States government had $12 million that it apparently didn't know what to do with, because it gave it to a group of scientists to go to Arizona and study the habits of the Arizona sand wasp. This is a true story, I think. Anyway, here's where it goes. They went to Arizona. Oh, by the way, and this is a sand wasp. You can tell I've been to art school. Yeah. They went and they discovered, and they wrote all these papers, justified their existence, sent them to Washington. And when you got through all of the things that they learned studying the sand wasps, there was one habit that they found that was indigenous to its species. And they had this in the conclusion. And there was this one habit. Every morning, a sand wasp would get up and stretch its little sand wasp wings. Oh, yeah, it's got wings. Stretch its little sand wasp wings and fly around in bigger and bigger sand wasp circles till it found something nice and yummy for breakfast. You know, like a fly or an earwig, you know, yummy, yummy, something really good like that. And get really excited. But they wouldn't eat it where they found it. It would take the food back to its sand wasp hole. But it wouldn't take the food into the hole. It would put the food down next to the outside of the hole and then go down and look for boogles. No, if you're wondering what boogles are, no, nobody knows what a boogle is, only a sand wasp is. You see, the sand wasp, through natural selection, developed a program. And the program was this. All the sand wasps that tried to eat out on the desert, they got eaten. They were somebody else's lunch. Those species went away. All the sand wasps that took their food right directly into the hole, if there was a predator in the hole, they couldn't protect themselves and the food. Those sand wasps, all natural selection. But the sand wasp's habit over the eons was find your food, put it next to the sand wasp hole, go down and look for, make sure the coast is clear, like a lot of us do with the groceries before we go in the house. Make sure the coast is clear, and then come back and get the food and go down, then go down and safely eat breakfast, because that was its program. And the scientists decided to try an experiment to see how strong this program is. Can this program be changed? And so they looked out one day and they saw a particularly large sand wasp comes out of the sand wasp hole one morning, and he flies around in bigger and bigger circles until he found this amazing breakfast, a nice big juicy horsefly. He was so excited. They could just see him get excited. And he flew down and he put down the horsefly next to the sand wasp hole. He went down to check for boogles. And while he was down looking for boogles, the scientists moved the horsefly about 3 feet away on the Arizona desert. There was no boogles. There were never any boogles. But now there was no breakfast. Have you ever seen a pissed off sand wasp? I mean, they say 4 little sand wasp things and flap their little sand wasp hands, arms, and fly around the circles. Oh, and he found the food. So he quick ate it right away, right? Nope. He took it down quickly because he knew the coast was clear, right? Nope. He put it next to the sand wasp hole, went down to look for boogles, and the scientists moved it 3 feet away in the other direction. And he came back out, got mad again, swore up and down sand wasp 4-letter words, flew around in madder circle. Oh, there it is. And learned his lesson, ate it right away, right? Well, took it right down and ate it because he knew the coast was clear, right? Nope. Put it down here, went down to look for boogles, and the scientists moved it again and again and again and again and again and again, until the sand wasp they were studying actually died of exhaustion and starvation, literally with food in its mouth. because its program said, it's got to be safe first, then I'll eat. I've got to take the food down into the sand wasp hole and make sure the coast is clear before I eat. And the program that over the eons was developed to protect the sand wasp for its own survival was now responsible for killing the sand wasp. As far as we know, humans are the only creatures on this planet that can consciously change programming. We can see shy people give speeches. We can see angry people learn to forgive. Human beings can change programs no matter how deep they are. But there's an awful lot of people, a lot of sand wasps disguised as people, doing the same things over and over again. Maybe it's the people you need to be reaching out to and connecting with and creating a team with. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's people on your own team doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Well, sand wasp doesn't know how to change. It doesn't have the capability of changing. Humans are the only creatures on this planet that have the ability to change, but it requires choice. And when we choose to change our behavior, we can change our results. But until we change our behavior, then wishing and hoping, I don't even like the word hope anymore, because I've noticed that most people only use hope when it's futile. I had never hoped for anything I knew I was going to get. I only hope for stuff that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get. And somehow I hope that it will happen my way. Well, something's got to change. And until something changes, nothing changes. And until you make the commitment to be more important with your life, then you won't be. Until you make the commitment to make a difference with people's lives, then you won't do it. And most people would rather be right than happy. They'd rather be right than successful. It's almost okay to be a failure as long as I can prove it's not my fault that I'm miserable. And we surround ourselves with other people that agree with us, that it's not your fault you're miserable. You had a crappy boss, you had a lousy spouse, your parents treated you wrong. Fill in the blanks. But we get one of two things in life. We get results or we get excuses. No matter how valid the excuses are, something could have been different. Something could have changed. But it takes commitment. We've got the vehicle. You know what you want. You know how to get it. Engage. Are you willing to create the willpower to make it happen? It takes commitment. In closing, and I'm going to turn this back to Tim, a chicken and a pig are walking down the street. And they pass a restaurant, and the sign out front goes, ham and eggs, $4. And the chicken goes, cluck, cluck, let's go have some breakfast. And the pig goes, no way. For you, it's just in and out. For me, it's total commitment. You see, the reality is, for some reason, the word commitment to make a business work is the same thing we do to people that are insane. We commit them. So I don't like going to the airport with a person afraid of flying and tell them we're going to the terminal. Maybe we need to change our languaging. But the reality is that you and I are capable of far more than we allow ourselves to do. We've all been superstars, and you know it. Think of a time where something went wrong. Something really went wrong. And you were a superstar. You calmed other people's nerves. You found solutions. You were a superstar. Now, maybe when it was all over, you panicked and came apart. But when you were really needed, you were there. We've all had those moments. And then 45 minutes later, we're driving down the freeway and someone cuts us off. They do some really little thing. They didn't hit us. They almost hit us. They could have hit us. And if it just takes something that could have gone wrong to mess you up. Let's save our reactions for stuff that does happen. In the meantime, let's quit creating monsters in our own head. I hope that makes some sense. Tim, you got some questions or want to take this? Let's go for it. And this artwork will be for sale, and the proceeds will be
right next to Hunter Biden's works of art up there for $500,000 each.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that.
All right, folks. Well, thank you, Ross. That was an amazing session that really touched a lot of people. I know it touched me. One thing I observe in there is sometimes we feel like, I can't change myself, but you know what? Maybe there's something that you can do that can change somebody else. If you just share with them and reach out to them a little bit, Just you've got something that can save somebody's life.